calendar. Are you kidding? Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi Jamie. It's Marshawn. Can you guys hear me? My son decided to make a smoothie at this exact moment. Life, huh?
It's real.
Right. Exactly. How's everybody doing? How are you doing, Jamie?
I'm doing great. Hi, Marshawn. Good morning.
Good morning. It was so funny. I struggled a little bit waking up today. Was hoping the coffee would hit, and I thought it was more important that you're awake than me. So, because I can't even hear people in the next room, and you're trying to hear in another dimension. So, I decided to rally. Yeah.
You look fabulous. I like the hair down. You don't do this often.
No, I'm too heavy. Feel too heavy. Yeah. Thank you though.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
I've been eating better
Hi,
though.
Michael.
Oh gosh. Okay. Hi. Oh, Italy's here. Love her. Chandra. Oh wow, cool. Okay. So anyways, who's there today? We'll let people take a peek into how you and I usually do it when they don't watch.
Done.
And then we can answer some questions. So who's there today, Jamie?
We have Griffen behind camera.
Hi Griff, I love you.
Patty?
Peggy.
Peggy. Oh my God, I'm
Hi
so sorry.
Hi Peggy. I love you.
She's saying hi. Your
Peggy,
mother.
your daughter Vic was sending me your orbs. I know they're your orbs. She wants me to ask if it's you, but there's no doubt it's you to me. When you pretty much first transition, they're really strong orbs. Like you don't get those very often. Yeah. And I was like, what a show off, Peggy. Yeah, exactly.
She was. She said she put her makeup on and everything. She's
right?
totally teasing.
Exactly.
I like her.
Exactly.
You have your mother.
Hi, Mom. I love you so much.
Mom's mom.
Hi, Grandma.
Uncle.
Uncle Roger. Hi, Uncle Raj.
Hi,
Love
Uncle
you.
Roger. Father-in-law.
Hi, Carl. I love you. Eric's dad. Love you so
You
much.
have grandfather on father's side. Your dad's dad.
Hi, Grandpa Paul. How are you?
He said he's doing good. Thank you for today.
Thank you
We
for
have
coming.
5 NFLers.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Good. There's always like 2 crouched down, like we're about to do a photo shoot, and the other ones are standing.
Right. Well, they're so big, they can fill a room, man. Yeah.
Yes, they can. 4, what you call your sweet peas.
My sweet peas. Hi, sweet peas.
And Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie Spielman. Chris Spielman, if you're watching, I love you. And she fought breast cancer, everybody, and she fought it for years. I want to say 9 years she fought it. She left behind either 4 or 3 beautiful children, and her husband played on a team with my husband, so I loved her and got close to her, and I always looked up to her. She's a beautiful, beautiful girl, Stephanie. Yeah. Thanks for coming, Stephanie.
And she's very happy to be here. I love hi NFL guys.
Okay. And sweet peas, just so everybody knows, I call the extraterrestrial beings sweet peas. I hear the speaker can't. It's annoying. Okay, sorry. I'm yelling at my brother. Okay, so I've been doing it all morning. Okay, so anyways, the sweet peas I refer to are the extraterrestrial beings, aliens, whatever you want to call it. I don't really like the word alien, just different life form. So anyways, the ones that come to me are sweet, and there you go. And if you have any questions for them, we can ask. I've actually had some interesting conversations with them. Apparently, Sai, you remember, Jamie, I don't know if you remember, but he said when Sage and I used to go on talk way years ago, that I like being human better because I like the drama. And I told him to F off because where he is, it's a lot more calm. Like they even enjoy the stillness of the leaves and the beauty and everything. And at this point, I'm feeling like I'm not choosing this life form next, but I don't know. That could change. Who knows? But anyway, so who else is there, Jamie?
You do have free will.
Yep.
We have 6 kind of over to my side that I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. 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 Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. I love all you guys for coming. Has Griff been behaving? Griff, have you been behaving?
He has. We were actually sitting down and talking about the coronavirus.
What does he have to say about that? I was curious to know.
He didn't have much to say, but what he did have to say was stop freaking out. And it's not like I was freaking out, but I wanted to know, what is it? Is this an epidemic that's going to help us kind of clear the land? Because, these things happen for bigger reasons rather than just being sloppy and transferring a bacteria or a virus.
Preach, girl. Kent and I were already having the same conversation, and you're already taking the space that I was taking. So tell me what Griffin said to you, because I'll tell you what Kent said to me. Okay, so go ahead.
He said, yes, that these things come along and they target certain age groups and certain, umbrella generalization communities to kind of help clear the energy on the earth. Griffin says, we think about washing and scrubbing off dirt that we have on our skin or a Sharpie that we marked on. What does the earth do? The earth has natural disaster
Right.
and epidemics. And it's just the way that she does it to balance energy. So
Okay.
it doesn't, I mean, I can hear that pretty good as me, Jamie, but at the same time, you're thinking, well, these are people. These are not just something you say, balance it out with. These are lives we're talking about. But, he hit me back with the plants are lives, animals, lives. We think about the fires and how many animals in Australia had transitioned at that time. Where's the great sorrow? He's like, you're just saying that humans matter. He was, just because you can relate to them easier doesn't make them top priority. It's kind of hard to hear, and it's kind of hard to argue to the point, but I understand it when I look at it in terms of energy. Like what he's saying is there's a give and a take. You don't create and you don't dissipate energy. You manipulate it and you move it. And death and transition are ways to manipulate and move.
Griffin, okay, so this brings up two questions right away for me in talking to Ken about it, and I'm going to go dark right away, is that some people think that things like this happen because, I don't know about Illuminati and all this stuff. No. Okay, I'm getting there, Kent. So erase all that. We're not going to go that dark. What we're going to go is the rich get richer. So the stock market now has crashed from this. So it's a very good time to invest. So are these things planned by humans and planted by humans? Or is this a universal truth, like Jamie's talking about, that the life just happens and it evens out, like natural disasters? And do you know what I mean? Because this is a very good time for rich people, to be honest. I hate to be ugly, but because the stock market took an all-time history crash. So now would be the time to invest. So we're not talking about government, Kent said. We're talking about rich people that, like the DuPonts, like people that I don't breathe the same air as they breathe in this lifetime at all, not even close. Even you guys, Donald Trump doesn't breathe the same air as they breathe in wealth.
Correct.
We're talking about DuPont wealth. And even if you think Trump has that wealth, he doesn't. In New York, Kent was explaining to me, he's actually considered poor compared to many there. And usually when you're rich, you don't need to buy gold toilets, and your perspective's a little better, hopefully, let's just say that. I'm sorry if you felt my opinion of how I feel right there. But anyways, so I guess what I'm asking, Griffin, is does man play a part in it since we're all connected? Is it for the rich to get richer, or is that absolutely hoonanny?
He says an opportunist will always find their way. He goes, but for something like this, where there's no cure, where it's unleashed, he says this isn't done by man on purpose. He said this is nature growing and taking control on this
Right.
case.
Right.
But there have been other things that have been released by man.
That was not what I said. I didn't say it on purpose.
You didn't say on purpose? What did you say?
No. I was saying that all I was saying was that this could be taken advantage of.
Oh, okay. Let's
Yeah.
correct this. No, it's an important correction. He's saying he wasn't saying it happened on purpose. He was saying, sadly, it's a very important correction. Sadly, it can be taken advantage of financially. If you have the finances to invest in the stock market, it's an ugly thing to say, but it'd be a good time to do it because it's an all-time low. So the rich will get richer now if they invest. Does that make sense to everybody?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's an ugly truth, but it's
Opportunist.
the truth. Right, exactly. It's an ugly truth, but it's true. Okay, so if you wash your hands, and then we'll wrap this up about the coronavirus. If you wash your hands and don't overreact and all this stuff, Griff, when it's your time, is it just your effing time to go? Like,
Yes.
can you? Okay. Although you have said before, there are wrongful deaths. Wrong or right?
Wrongful, he says accidental, I think is maybe more it. That you were throwing so much caution to the wind that you put yourself in a situation where you picked up or were in an accident that
Reckless
you weren't
situation.
traditionally, going to be a part of. And then now you have to deal with that.
Okay. All right. Well, I love you guys. Griffen, is there anything you want to address before we look into these people's questions, into everyone's questions? And then I love that it seems like we're forming a community because I recognize a lot of the names, and that's so amazing. Yeah.
Oh, Griffen just wanted to say hi to everybody. Thank you for being here and taking the time. He's sending kisses, blowing kisses to his mother.
I love
It
you
was
so
done
much.
really awkwardly. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and thanking you for, again, keeping this up and just putting yourself out there like this. And he says, we're on YouTube today, which is pretty damn exciting, as well
Right.
as Facebook linked. And he says it's just going to keep growing if you guys keep showing up.
Okay, cool. I wanted to say to everybody that if you're going through a loss or you've lost a child, because that's what I can speak to. This morning, I don't have it all together. I'm smiling and I'm laughing and I'm here in this moment. But you guys being here and Jamie has saved my life. Because most days I don't want to get out of bed. Like, I don't know about this losing a child thing, if it's really doable. I talk to Griff and argue with him about it all the time. But like this morning, I have a little cute picture of my Dylan, who's here on Earth with me. And I'll show you in the picture of his little poo outfit.
Oh my God. Stop.
Right? Can you just die? So I've looked at this picture a million times and I have Griff at the beach behind him, but I just noticed Griff's hand in the picture holding onto the stroller. Right, exactly. So Kent had to change the subject because I was in tears because I can still picture Griff's hands, the way they feel, do you know what I'm saying? So I want everyone to know that I'm doing the best I can and everyone's doing the best that they can. And don't be, what I'm learning is don't be in prison to what people think about you. You know what I mean? Because I'm out here showing you my vulnerability. Like, I don't have it all together, guys. I'm just here trying to give love and save another mother's life if I can. And anyone's life that's lost, because I can't measure loss. All I can speak to is what I've lost. And I'm kind of feeling what I've lost is almost undoable. And we can argue that till the cows come home, but I'm never doing this again. I won't sign up to lose a child if that's what happened. Yeah. When I get there, I'm going to punch God in the nose or Jesus if the line's long. Yeah.
If the line is long.
You'll know Marshawn's up front taking her time.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. I love you, woman.
I love you too. And so Griffen led me to Jamie, in case you're new to this. And it's weird the way he led me. There was another medium here. I'll tell the story briefly. Said, it's just unbelievable. Who is Jamie? Griff keeps saying, who's Jamie? Who's Jamie? Who's Jamie? Because you're laying on your bed looking at your computer and he's literally sitting beside you, pointing at what he wants you to watch. She goes, you have a Diet Coke beside your bed and a water. I can see it so clear that if a scientist was there with infrared light, he couldn't deny there's energy there. And he was pointing, and he pointed me to channeling Eric. He wasn't so much trying to show me channeling Eric, but I very much enjoy channeling Eric. He was trying to show me Jamie. He wanted to get me to Jamie because the medium I had here didn't do it full time. She was amazing, but she didn't do it full time, and he knew I wasn't going to survive. that I would hit one of my exits probably. And so I reached out and I ended up there. It's a long story how it happened, but it happened. And so just if you think someone's not touchable, like I thought Jamie wasn't touchable and I couldn't get her, just try, because you never know what'll happen. And Sage, my sister, had written the letter the same night I was struggling. And I was struggling with suicide and really, really dark thoughts. And only because I have a son here, I couldn't go, you know? And it takes all of us sometimes. You know, we need everybody. See, I'm shaking because losses like that just aren't, they're so big. It just runs you over like a Mack truck, you know? And you don't say goodbye to your son at 4 PM and then get a call in the morning that he's gone. You just don't ever think that will be your door that's knocked on. Never in a million years. So back to all the mothers and the people that are going through loss right now. If you don't have your shit together, I don't have my shit together. And we're going on 9 years, I think. 2011. I don't even count the years. I stopped. He's forever 18 to me. So yeah, it seems like yesterday sometimes. Sometimes it seems like today. But sometimes I feel like he's still here, if that makes sense. I've developed a different relationship with him. I talk to him all the time. We talk about him all the time. You know, it's like he never left sometimes, you know, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Jamie?
Oh, it makes sense.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense. I just want to reach and squeeze so many of you. I'm
Right.
reading the comments.
Okay. So
Jules says our
okay.
hearts go out to you.
Okay.
It's just incredible, Marshawn.
The people are amazing on here. Yeah, amazing. Happy birthday, before I forget, to Marina Murkison. I love you. Your dad wants to say happy birthday to you, and I wrote that down. Okay, so now let's get to some of the questions. Okay, Pam Frias. Hi, Marshawn and Jamie. I would love to know if my mom, Dolly, had a peaceful death and has transitioned to a better place with my dad and her family. I hope she forgives me for caring too much. Oh, you can't care too much. Yeah.
Griffen goes, sometimes you can. And he looks at his grandmother. He goes, right?
He calls my mom a backpack because I told my mom to take care of Griff, and apparently she does. Yeah.
Like a backpack.
Yeah.
Dolly, yes. Dolly is very much present, very much here. Loves you. Thank you for caring so much. And thank you for asking about her. She did get you reunited with her family. And she says that she hasn't taken time. She has the sweetest voice, this woman. My goodness. She hasn't taken the time to communicate with anybody on Earth yet. She is making her transition. She says to give her a little while, but she's already talking about the holidays in December, having a special gift. So I don't know what's happening then, and that's pretty much a long ways away, but she's bringing it home.
Aw.
You're right. She's not a very forward woman. So when I ask her questions or to give more details, she just kind of, it's okay, that kind of a thing.
Right. Aw. Okay, sweet. So she's where she needs to be, and she's working on herself, and it sounds like she's going to be around for the holidays showing signs.
I think so. I think she's more excited about that than anything else.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. It was funny because I was saying about Peggy's orbs. I was commenting on Facebook today because Vic wanted me to ask if that was Peggy, and there's no need to ask because I know that's Peggy. But anyways, when Griff first transitioned, we couldn't get a picture without an orb, and I had never seen an orb, and I didn't know what it was. So Jamie, you want to talk a little bit about orbs and tell people how they can find those? Because I found that very comforting when Griffin first died. I would lay in my bed at night and just take pictures, and I'd see his energy everywhere. It was crazy,
Really?
and I didn't know about that. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'd love to see some. And do you think that they would share the Peggy orbs?
Yeah, no, I have the Peggy orbs and I'll pull it up, but I just want people to know that we asked Griffin when my mom was still here. Sage asked Griffin, "How much do you love Grandma?" And he did a smile and a blue orb. And my mom, no, they asked my mom, "How much do you love Griffin?" And she said, "This much." And then Griffin was there in a smile with a blue orb. So you guys can catch a lot of stuff on your phone camera, video. Just make sure everything's dark. So kind of debunk it so you know it's not coming from that light or this light, right, Jamie? Is that how you do it?
Well, yes, but then you have people who are also doing night vision cameras, like with your
Okay.
security cameras. And what they do is they'll reflect off of dust particles and insects, flying insects or spiders, and their camera stays open much longer to get a snapshot. So it
Okay.
blurs and it looks like a spirit or a trail with a tail. So you can get online. There are articles and images that show you how to identify fluttering of wings or movement of legs. So you can differentiate that between spirit.
Right.
But with orbs, a dust particle that would have a reflection in the camera. And please, guys, you can check out Dan Drazen, like a raisin. He has information on there that click
Peggy.
that one.
Peggy. Show
That's
off.
Peggy.
Yeah, show off.
That is a very clear. See how the line around the orb is very crisp and clean?
Beautiful, you guys. It's beautiful. Can you
So
guys see
that's
it?
what I look at for identifying spirits. You can see it. There'll usually be a ring
Look, I
around the
guess she's
orb.
leaving now. I guess she was leaving or coming. I don't know, but look how
See, there's
strong that is.
no see how smooth it is? There's no fluttering of
Yeah,
wings or anything like that, like
right,
misshapen
right,
patterning. It's a
right,
complete circle.
right.
A speck of light, which they say they shrink their energy, so it's like their spirit. And normally they'll come in different colors: blues, greens, pinks, things like that. Particles of dust don't reflect that kind of color of light. So you can do the research, but you can also ask for your guides to come forward. Griffen says, whenever you get together and you go, everybody get together and smile. Griffen goes, oh my God, my favorite thing is like cramming myself into the picture in the back. He's just to see the camera's going to get me.
Photo bomb. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's the best. Um, so he says, expect that and invite your spirit, your guides, your friends, your relatives, all that jazz. And don't just invite anybody and everybody. He goes, there's a lot of free roaming spirit out there that you don't want to invite to your party. And snap away. Sometimes you don't even need a flash. You can pick up on orbs.
Oh, I didn't need a flash. I was smoking very heavily when Griffin died, and I'd be out on the bench, and my brother-in-law got me outside, and I've never seen so many orbs. And Jamie, I'm telling you, I didn't know what an orb was, and we couldn't get a picture without one. It was crazy. And then Griffin, I'm talking to you, son. I was asking him to do more and do more and do more, and he got so upset. He was like, "I'm not a performer, mom." Yeah.
Did he stop? Oh my God, it's just like a kid, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But no, I love you, Griff. And I was like, I think we came to the conclusion. He understood. I think he felt bad for getting on me because I was like, well, you made more noise when you were here. I just want to see you. Because sometimes it was just so when he first transitioned, Jamie, hummingbirds would almost fly in my face. A hawk almost took out his Aunt Kelly. Like the funniest stuff would happen that you just couldn't deny it was him. You know what I mean? And then he got calm probably in his transition, and he thought we probably were calmer. Also, what do you call this, Jamie, when this happens? When I would start to go to sleep, I would see his face coming in towards me. But it took me about a month to realize he was doing that. I wasn't imagining that. And he goes, "Mom, that's me. I back off because you get scared." And
Oh,
right? But it was his face was coming in to me to show me he was there. You guys, it was a beautiful silhouette of his face. There was no denying it was him. No denying.
that space between going to sleep and that space right before you wake up, the hypnagogic state, that is the absolute sweet spot for any kind of spirit communication. So you're going to get that twice a day, whether you want it or not. Make it work for you. So Griffen knew how to make it work for him.
Right.
Oh, yes, because
Griffin,
he wants me to tell everyone that he's a badass.
right. Griffin, how did you learn how to show signs? And are some spirits better at showing signs than other spirits? So you'll go, "Hey dude, can you help me? Because my mom's really thick." Because you did say that about me before, like you'd give me signs, and I have a 10x4 head, so I wouldn't believe it's him. Do you guys get frustrated, Griff? Like, because the wipers will go off or something crazy happens, like your face coming in, and we always dismiss it. Do you want to punch us in the face?
Yes, he said yes. He does his hand like this. You guys always just throw it out the window. You just, whatever. From the lights flickering to the perfect song showing up right when you were singing it, to all these wonderful coincidences. He says we love being behind them. It makes it so much fun. Plus, to
Right?
freak you out just slightly is like a pastime of us, but some spirits are way better at it than others.
Wow. Probably the youngins. Like the youngins are better at the computer than us. Yeah.
He goes, I don't know. I think this one is based more on extroverts, like who really wants to be seen, who really wants to be sometimes part of a problem rather than the cause, make better signs than introverts.
Okay. My brother took my phone from me. So I guess I'm on restriction, but I'm not paying attention to questions. But Elsa, your question about your, do you see Elsa on here? I want to get her
there's one
question.
right here. I don't know though, because the
don't-
question's been disappearing.
Oh, they have?
Yeah.
Okay. I
That's why I'm
there's
trying to-
2 questions I really want to get in before, and then I'll go to everyone's. Because when I promise people,
She was right there.
who, Elsa?
Oh, yeah.
Where?
Hi,
Where I was
Gwen.
pointed.
Thank
Before
you.
started moving.
Where's Elsa?
It was right there. I don't know which way you went.
Okay. I know Elsa, I can't find your question, but I know in general, her daughter's husband's brother died suddenly. See, give me my phone, Kent.
Marshawn. Okay. This is about the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
He won't only give it to me if it's about the question, guys. I'm not calling anybody, I promise. I'm staying with you.
Bring up more pictures.
No, I'm trying to get a question that I promised people that asked before, which
I'm just trying to get the train moving forward. That's all.
he's just trying to get the train moving forward, he said.
So much fun watching brother and sister.
Fight.
This is a true family affair.
I know, right? Okay, so Elsa,
From Griffen, their
okay,
mom, their grandparents.
right? It's
Yeah.
like unbelievable.
You got 'em. They're all
Okay.
here.
Elsa, I can't get your question up.
They're,
You see it?
Oh, that's Lee.
Hi,
No,
Shelly
Elsa.
Ham.
Okay, Elsa. Okay. Okay.
Take a moment and find it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, Anthony's friend, Sean, and if there is a message, oh gosh, you guys, when you do this, it's so hard when you don't put it on the live. Okay, okay, my daughter's fiance, Anthony, lost one of his best friends to a possible overdose. His name is Sean. Hi, Sean. He was 33. It devastated his large circle of friends who cared for him so much. Yeah. He left behind a new wife as well. Would like to know, does he have a message for Anthony? So that would be your daughter's fiance would be Anthony Woods, his best friend, Sean. So it was a possible overdose. His dad found him, I think.
it was an overdose. It was not a suicide, and he was having one hell of a good time.
Oh, his father passed away already before, and he was having a good time. Yeah, you guys, overdose happens really fast. I know from personal
was
experience.
Really having a blast. And to him, it wasn't an overdose. He didn't take too much. His body had a reaction to it. So
Okay.
he is not a careless person. He
Okay.
really wants everybody to know that. He's extremely sorry for what happened. If he had a heads up at all, he would not have done it. But there was no heads up. And then it was just like this. And it was kind of a gentle lights out as he explains it. He wants to send big love to his wife and a lot of like straight up respect is what he calls it to his friend Anthony. He's really sorry. He's really sorry.
Right.
He doesn't like how much pain he's causing everybody.
Right. But Sean, I overdosed on July 4th a couple years ago. It happened so fast, right? And it doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah, he agrees. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah. It hurts everybody you leave behind, but it doesn't hurt. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Kim Ashby Duran, and this is the last one I'm going to ask before, and next time I'll just do the ones live because maybe I'm not good at this. Okay. We lost my awesome cousin, Stephen Smith, on December 3rd. He was 38. He had a massive heart attack. Our family is broken. He has 2 beautiful babies, Cooper and Macy. Both are under 10. Oh, that breaks my heart. I miss him so much. His mom, Cindy, his dad, Terry, his siblings, Carrie, Mac, and Mark are devastated. Okay, so we are looking for Stephen Smith. You had a massive heart attack. Are you okay? And you were only 33. Did you know it was going to happen? She wants to know. And are you
He was
okay?
a little bit older than that. Yes, he's doing fine now.
Okay.
Listen, he wants to let everybody know that he did not have a strong heads up. like it wasn't one of those things where you identify, I'm having a heart attack. Because he's the type of guy who cares, and he would take care of himself, and he would follow through with things.
Right.
So he feels like this is one big goof. He's having a hard time with his transition. He loves his kids so much. And I wish everybody, they are so cute, guys. Like, there's some kids where you're just like, oh my God, damn. Like,
Darling.
That's them. Um,
Okay.
so he's having a hard time with that, but he's being very present. He knows where he is. He's being kind to himself. So please don't worry about him, he's saying. But
Okay.
he would like more time, like at tuck-ins, to mention his name, to send him some love, and then tell him good night. And that opens up the conversation for him to stay in his kids' heads and their hearts so that he can show up in their dream state. That's one thing he's like overly concerned about. For everybody else, he says he'll catch up with you.
Yeah, you to touch on that, what you're talking about, I remember Griffin saying that me coming to a medium, and I'm not saying everyone has to go to a medium, and your way you talk, they hear you, helped him so much. So much, because you have to do your work when you go with yourself. Even the people we've talked to that have committed suicide because of depression, they still took their depression with them. You still have to work and evolve. We keep evolving, we never stop working, right, Jamie?
Yes.
So but he didn't feel signs of a heart attack that he ignored. He's saying he cared for himself. He just didn't know. So they could really help him by talking to him and stuff.
Yes, they
Okay.
could.
Okay.
Good
Yeah.
point.
Awesome. Awesome. So, I think that that's important for everyone to know too, is that, like I mentioned earlier, I do feel Griffin's here with me all the time. Some losses you can't accept all the way. I'm not delusional. Like, I know he's not walking through that door in physical form, but he's just a part of me. You can't lose that. You can never lose that, Do you see my kids walking out? Okay. Bye, guys. Love you guys. Okay, so let's go to some questions. Jamie, did you see any questions that you saw were real important, Jamie?
There you
Okay.
go. Question.
Where?
Right there on the screen.
Oh, okay. My question is, my 30-year-old Stephen Stallworth was murdered. Brother was murdered. I want to know if he's at peace and if he has a message for us. Taiwan Roads. Stephen Stallworth. I'm sorry. He was murdered. Stephen,
Yeah,
are
he
you where you're
was.
supposed to be?
Stephen is where he's supposed to be. He wants to say hi to everybody. Hi. Like, he is so up and close to my face right now. Wanting everybody to look at him, that he's arrived and that he's okay. God, he's a great guy. You're really sweet. He's sweet and
Aw.
he's funny. But he said, don't get me wrong, I got a tough side too. And he starts laughing, which makes me think he doesn't really have a tough side. It's just a funny side. But
Uh-huh.
besides that, he wants everyone to know he's well and alive. It's fun. He talks with his hands like they're just swinging in front of him.
Okay.
It went down all so fast. He was trying to say that he wasn't trying to be a hero or anything. It wasn't like that. It was really like a fight for life. I'm sorry that the family has to,
Go
keep
ask him.
this memory.
Go ask him.
And he says that he wants to do everything possible to help them process it. And the person who's responsible is caught or labeled. So he's pretty darn pleased about that. So there's nothing that he needs on his behalf. Hopefully that made sense. He kind of rambles, but he's really cute about it.
That made sense. And that's so hard for the person asking the sister, like, it's that same thing that somebody's here 1 second and they're not. It's so traumatic, so traumatic. Yeah, I'm yelling at my brother because can you hear their leaf blowing? And I told him to find his balls and go ask them to stop.
No, you can't really hear the leaf blowing, at
you
least not
can't?
on the speakers on my side.
Okay, good. It's so funny. You guys, we live in California. There's no leaves. When we were growing up in the South and outside of Atlanta, we had to rake the leaves. They do this leaf blower every day, and it sounds like the NASCAR 500, I swear. Yeah. So annoying. But okay. Lisa Lloyd, my husband and I lost a dear friend unexpectedly just before Christmas. Is he okay? And does he have any messages for those of us left behind? Lisa, what is his name and how did you lose him? Tina Poucher, to my husband, Buzz Poucher, you were ahead of your time predicting how our Constitution needed to be cherished. What do you see ahead for America in 2020? I am fighting for my country. Wow.
I can't remember his name. I know you just said it, but he's here.
Buzz Poucher.
Talk about a spirit that can demand everybody's attention so gracefully with like no effort, that he would get the award. In 2020, he's talking a lot, but he's boiling. I'm listening. Sorry, I'm not repeating.
I
He's
think your
going kind of
name,
fast.
I love his name. Is that really your name, Buzz? Like, that's so cool.
It's the fight for humanity in 2020. It's all
Okay.
about passing law and looking at law to support the protection of everyone, protection of life. And he says it's going to show up repetitively. It was in your face in 2019 and 2020. You're able to do something about it. He doesn't
That's
bend down or
huge.
anything.
That's huge, though. I love what he's saying. Okay, so Amora Blessing, I've been told that I wrote these injuries into my chart, but that I also wrote it into my chart to heal. Is that still the case? If so, when and how? The timeline seems to change a lot. Thank you. Well, I broke my ankle and it changes if you don't do what the doctor says. I know that.
Well, it would also be you processing the emotion and the energy and the thought that vibrates where that right ankle sits and rests and holds energy. So if you're going back through the same things, it's going to put stressor on that injury. So I don't know who the question was from.
Amora Blessing.
Hey, Amora. Talking about writing in your injuries in, they both agree to that, and they all agree to, yes, you wrote in your healing. And so the healing 100% hasn't achieved. So you've done most of it, but not all of it. And unconditional parameters are something to look at when people are telling you you need to swallow this pill and do it this way and act like a robot to do all the PT or whatever to heal. They also need you to put input in and be able to move, whether it's a physical move or whether it's an emotional move, like not put effort into that, but something else to support your healing. Time is not linear, so it can flux.
Right.
So when spirit's talking about it, they could say, in 2 weeks. So in general, they'll hit that mark. It's like a 75% average. It'll be within the 2 weeks. But then there's this thing where you can speed up time or slow it down by your connection to it, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So that can stretch to all of a sudden it's 6 weeks now or 2 years, or it could be 3 days, and everything is happening at the speed of light. So it's really interesting how we manipulate energy so we can get the messages. But if you're hanging on to timing and when, I think that's the wrong focus for any situation. And I would start putting the focus on the action and the doing, and the when arrives, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Right.
I think that it does it come down to, Jamie, to acceptance, like just acceptance or seeing the signs. Because Kent and I were laughing about this the other day of a meme, like in my life review, like, give me a sign, Lord, if he's not the guy for me. There's a meme with a stop sign falling on a girl's head and she's down on the ground. And then you get in front of God or your maker or whatever, your life review, yourself, your judgment day. And you say, I showed you the signs, and Kent goes, I'm so glad you don't work for the DMV, Marshawn. 20 or 30 miles an hour, stop or go. There might be children crossing. Like, the signs have been so obvious. And if we ignore them, then life keeps giving us that test until we get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Repeats happen all the time with different names, different people, different situations, but the core of it is the repeat of the lesson. And then you decide, because sometimes life will give you repeats, but it's not about you doing it all over again. It's about you recognizing that you don't even have to participate in it.
Okay.
So there's that too. There's the I've done that so much. I know that lesson. If it's given it to me again and I'm hook, line, and sinker going, I guess I have to do it again because I didn't learn how to do it last time.
Right.
That might not be it. It might be learning how to say no to it before you even take it on and going, nope, I'm done. Thank you. Next.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. I'm rereading The Power of Now. I don't know what books you guys go to when you're struggling, but I've been struggling and I'm rereading that because Kent said, my brother said, it's my ego. And I believe that. I believe that we struggle to not accept things the way they are, and we try to make excuses for why we don't want to accept them, whether it's a bad marriage or whatever it is.
Mhm.
You can excuse it till, like I love to say, the cows come home. Like you can say, I love too hard or I'm perfect. And your ego thinks they're going to go find someone better than me. So you stay with it and you stay with it when it's just not meant for you. You know what I mean?
You paused and Griffin goes, she's going to say when the cows come home. And you go,
Yeah.
like that saying I like, when the cows, and I was just like, yes.
I know. I don't even know if that's a saying or I made it up. Okay. Lorena Blanco. Love that name. Do my grandparents have any messages? My uncle Eddie, my friends that passed, Nick or Anthony. Hi, Lorena. You guys, I love the questions, but you guys have to be more specific. So I'm gonna pass on it. Sir Boss, hey, thank you so much for doing this. I've been trying to reach my guides, asking them how I should approach healing my chronic back pain, but I'm too dumb to get the message. Help, please. Okay, Sir Boss, I have back pain too. What is back pain a sign of, Jamie or Griffin?
Sir boss. Griffin's jumping in. He says back pain depends on where it is. So most of the time, men will have back pain because they don't want to process something emotional, like they're trying to hide it. They don't really want to share it with anybody else, or they don't know how to express it, so they just kind of tug it in the back and get it
Right.
away, and they push it down low. But if it's upper back pain, this means they're carrying too much burden and they're not asking for help. So that's in between the shoulder blades, up higher.
Yeah, you can't.
The whole back pain, Griffin is gonna help you out, Sir Boss. He's saying that first of all, stretching, not heavy stretching where you have to like like breathe through it because it's tense and pain. That
Right,
sounded
right,
like
right.
Lamaze, but he was doing breathing things too. I try to repeat not so
Right,
much, but
Jamie.
oh, that gentle stretching. There's not a lot of freedom and movement in your oh my god, the back of the legs. I know, I see what you're showing me.
like sciatic nerve pain?
Hamstrings. Hamstrings.
Hamstrings. Okay, okay.
We need the hamstrings stretched, so
Right.
look at that.
Stretch those hammies, baby.
Then we're gonna look at dry needling and the quadratus lumborum.
Okay, I don't know what she's talking about, but you need to Google that because Griffin's given us advice for pain in my kidney stone, and he was always right. So Google what she just said. Yeah.
And then the third thing is to get into CPT. He says, get a physical therapist that's going to help you. He says, you don't have to deal with this back pain. You do have some, oh my God, stop teasing me and I can talk. When it's the spine or the discs are a little bit crumbly, like they show signs of age, that
Yeah,
kind
they
of
don't have
thing.
enough sponge, like they're arthritic, or they don't have enough sponge between them. Just natural causes.
Crumbly. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
totally like age related and fine and
yeah,
natural. It's not because of an
yeah.
injury. There's
Okay,
that there, so you can work all the way through that, and you don't need to have the pain.
okay.
Ding! I hit that bell.
Okay, okay, okay. You
Cheers.
guys, okay, I'm gonna try so hard right here because I know I probably pissed some people off. Okay, Stephanie Schaffner. I keep getting skipped, laugh out loud. Sorry to be a bother. You're not a bother. I'm just learning this. It's so much harder than it looks, you guys. When I watch lives, I would be just like you getting frustrating. It is so hard to read the leaf blower, my brother talking to me, Jamie. It's a little harder. I'll get it one day, I'll get it, but I mean well. I mean well. I care about all you guys. Okay, so I keep getting skipped. Stephanie Schaffner. Sorry to be a bother. I've been begging for answers for months and nothing seems to work out. Okay, so Stephanie, what are you asking me? So type it in and I'll make my brother look for your question. Stephanie, so what do you want to ask? Because I don't want to keep skipping you.
Well, just a reminder, it's not really a skipping. So when we're doing the live streams, of course, the chat thread keeps rolling and we're not taking it line by line. It's part of just going with the flow and being with spirit and having them highlight things.
Right.
And then also
Right.
Marshawn is specifically looking for the questions. What
Right.
for?
Right. Well, I'm enjoying meeting these spirits because they're funny. They've got Jamie barking on the other side, and then I'd lose track, and then I'll go back, and there's been a million questions. So they scroll up and it's gone. So copy and paste it again. Yeah, because I want to enjoy meeting these spirits. I've met some really nice spirits, and I need some help in my life too. And these guys can help me. Sorry to be selfish, but yeah, yeah, they're really cool to meet.
There it is.
Where?
So there it is.
So I feel stuck in a toxic relationship. I never thought this would be my reality due to growing up in a similar situation. My question is, why do I continue with the relationship? Oh, Stephanie Schaffner, speak to me, girl. Oh my God. I have the chills because this answer is going to be for me and you both, girl. Go, Griff. Why is she staying in a toxic relationship? Because I've never done that in my lifetime. Never.
He says, for those of you watching and listening, when my mother falls into her natural Southern accent, it means she's being extremely honest.
And I always excuse it too. I love so hard. Why can't I walk away? And he's so good looking. And yeah, so to lay it on us, Griff, tell us, why do we stay in toxic relationships? And when is it time to leave? And what makes a toxic relationship to you, Griff?
He says it's going to be a different kind of answer for everybody. He goes, but I'm going to talk specifically to Stephanie. And then he says, I'll describe it for other situations. But a toxic relationship is when it's just imbalanced, when what you're putting out and what you're receiving doesn't add up. So it could be that you feel extremely depleted because the energy is taken from you, or you feel depleted because you've given too much. So he says in Stephanie's case, she can't be exactly who she wants to be. She's found herself giving her identity to the relationship, not so much to her partner, but to the relationship so that it can work. And after so much time, he says it's been years, that it is not working. And so then you have to sit down and look at why. And he says the first place you need to point is the finger at the self. It's not working because you surrendered something that maybe you didn't know you were doing. It could be absolutely under the radar, or maybe you surrendered something and you knew it, but you thought it would get better, because people do change and they do grow. But this situation with Stephanie is not. So it's time to decide how you're going to step away, what you've learned from the experience growing up in it and from being in this type of relationship is that you are not prioritizing your needs first, because you don't know what your needs are. You've never been taught to slow down and look at it. And so that is resulting in you not having enough pride. It's not so much confidence. He goes, because I've seen you, and Griffen says that you, in certain circumstances, have really good, strong confidence. And like, you know what you're doing and it's good. But then certain parts of the relationship, you're just like, I am totally lost and I don't know what this is. Can those toxic relationships be fixed? Griffen kind of holds out his hands. He's like, yeah, but if they're going to be fixed, they're going to be fixed within like the first few years that you recognize it's going wrong, because you're bringing it to the table and you're talking about it. But when you're not bringing it to the table and talking about it, shit's going to get fixed. Nothing is going to get fixed. It's just going to go down the drain. And sometimes it's better to self-preserve and step away and get to know who you are. Again, learn, have somebody teach you to ask yourself, what do you need? What are you missing? And then through that, you'll gain the pride of taking care of yourself. And then when you step into a next relationship, that partner is going to mimic that back to you. But because you weren't taught it, you found a match, somebody that would play a comfortable, pattern for you. And that's what it was. And he goes, and guess what? It's not comfortable anymore because you're asking questions about it. So it's time to own up to it and start stepping out of it and take care of you first. Hopefully that made sense.
Yeah, it does. And Griffin, can you touch on this a little bit more, because I think this applies to a lot of things, not just love, but does it have less meaning in your life? Could a relationship be good and then just stop growing, and then there's just another relationship to be had? And as humans, letting go, and we don't like change as humans, so we hold on so tight. You know what I mean?
He says, that's messed up because change is things that keep it going. Like to come to your partner and to say, I guess what, I don't like that color anymore, or I'm not a fan of that food anymore. I'd really like to try something a little bit more exciting.
Right.
And when you stop asking for the change, that's when you fall into the lull. And if you're not going to be brave enough to bring the shit to the table, it's never going to get fixed. So you might as well step away. And then guess what? The next relationship you get into, because you didn't learn how to be brave and talk about the things that you didn't like, he says you're going to end up with the same kind of partner, just a different story. And it might be exciting and romantic for the first few years, but then you go, damn, look at it. It's happening again. And he goes, guess what? Point the finger at yourself. Stop blaming everybody else, your partner, and the shit they brought to the table. He goes, that's not it. If you're dealing with
Right.
something, it's because you are bringing it to the table. That's a little
I
hard.
agree. No, I agree with him, and that's why I went back to the power of now, because I feel like it almost becomes an ego struggle when you try to make something work that's not meant to be, and all the signs are showing you it's not meant to be for whatever reason. Maybe you need to grow in a different direction. Maybe you're not even making the other person be the best they can be. Who knows what the reason is? We stay and we stay and we stay. If we have a big ego, it's your ego, I think. I'm not quite sure. I know it hurts. It's going to hurt. It hurts so bad. I know that. Like, it's a grief. It's a grieving. It's a death.
Yeah, that he agrees to. It is a grief of the loss of some kind of like cherished definition or idol or label that you thought had worth. But as you grow, you realize that really wasn't where the worth was, but you try to feed it and keep it alive, and it's misplaced.
Okay. I was going to say, I love you guys. We're running out of time, so I'm going to let Jamie pick the last question. So, oh,
What?
here's one we like. We like this about mommies. Okay. Just Jess. I'll help you, Jamie. And then
That's
if you
the
see
one I
one you
was
want.
going to pick. How
Okay.
crazy is that? I just
Yeah.
lost my mom, Patty. That one?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
None
You
of us want to lose our mommies. So this
go.
is one for everybody. It's hard to live on earth with your mom not here. I know.
You going to read it?
No, you do it.
I lost my mom, Patty, which Griffin is slightly cracking up about the word lost because she's totally not lost. You lose a set of keys, but
Okay.
your mom, Patty, transitioned.
Right.
Patricia D's Stilettos. I miss her so much, and that is truly felt on this side, Just Jess.
You're gonna make
Your
me cry
love
because I miss my mom. Yeah.
goes across like, whew.
You're making me miss Patty. Yeah.
And I'm devastated and was young when I lost her. Does she have a message for me? Is she okay? Did Panhead find you when he passed?
Panhead. Oh, I love that. Oh.
Big fat yeses across the board. So Griffin started replying, but your mother, Patty, is here. Patty and a Peggy.
Right.
I keep hearing her. She keeps saying, don't worry, don't cry, and don't worry. Her biggest line so far is, don't worry. The need for you. I feel like I need to scoot over. Patty is saying the need for you to feel my love and to feel my presence in your life is greater than it ever has been. And she says, please don't let it kind of take your attention away from other parts of your life. And she says, you're not a victim and you're not injured, and people can grow and live on from their grief and their separation with their loved ones Just, she says she comes to you every night. She's talking about being in your room. Oh, and you are not alone. I'm sorry, she's showing me pictures, but I don't know where I am. I asked her, Patty, tell me one way that Jess can get a deeper connection with you so
Right.
the grief is eased. She's got that. I know this. Yeah. She's talking about the hand communication, using one hand to represent yes and the other hand to represent no. It's easier for right hand to be yes, left hand to be no, just for the energy sake. And call her in, uninvite everybody else. And if you don't have somebody to call in, you can always call in Griffen. He said he'd talk to you guys. And say, are you here? Yes or no. And that she will squeeze and touch your hand. And she liked the idea of using the hypnagogic state that we mentioned earlier in the live stream, that moment right before you go to sleep. So when you get really exhausted, start asking the questions to her and to her alone, nobody else. And you're going to start feeling her touch. Whenever you get a sense, tell her thank you and move to the next question. Make sure it's yes and no. She also said that you will hear in the back of your head kind of her explanation of why she's saying yes or no to the question that you're asking. And if you could do that several nights a week, the two of you would be closer. And she says that you wouldn't miss her so much, but have an excitement of this new relationship that you can have.
I love that. I love that. I know that Griffin has sat on my chest so hard, I had to tell him to get off, and chills are a big sign for me. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're coming to a close, and I understand if some people are frustrated, but I thank everyone for coming today. And the more specific the question, the more I'll take it. But if you guys just ask for a message, I usually am going to skip it because it's too woo-woo to me. It's leaving it. I don't like that. Like, do you have a message? Do
Too
you see
loose.
red? I don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm not the person to go for it.
My
Through if
guide
you want
Maitland
that.
always says the quality of your question equals the quality of your answer. So if they say, do you have a message? The answer is yes. Next question.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way she would treat me. It was
Right. So I don't mean to be like, I love the participation. I love the love. I love everything. But I just think that's so vague. Like, even if you ask someone human, if I look to my brother and said, do you have a message for me? It's just kind of like, oh, blah, blah. It's pretty out. I mean, what are you supposed to say? I mean,
right.
it's just too blank, and we're already trying to talk to spirit. And I just think that we're not trying to prove anything or anything like that, but it just should be more direct. Like, you're just use this as the telephone line to ask your mom a question, or your dad, or whoever you want to ask a specific question. A specific question, my brother's saying. It's just better, right? Is that rude to say?
No,
No.
it is not. Maitland requests that all the time when we do readings and we're at public channeling. She
Yeah.
will skip over people and go, that's not a good enough question. Like, you don't know what you're asking for. When you know what you're asking for, then you can hear the answer. But when you're just open netting, then whatever you're listening to, you're still trying to scramble. What do you really want to know? So just hold
Right.
yourself down until you really have the question of what you want to know and then ask it.
Right. Like, let us know you're here and stuff. That's really sweet. And I love everybody joining in. But if you want me to ask a spirit, I got to know what I'm going to ask them. You know what I mean? Like, what we're going to ask Jamie to ask them. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like that puts a lot of pressure on Jamie. Just what are you going to ask? Yeah. But
And
anyways. Yeah. And Griffin. I love you, Griff. I love you, Mom. I love you, everybody. 15-year-old daughter, come back next week. Okay. Yeah. When I see kids, I can't. Well, I will ask that. That would always be first for me. But anyways, so I love everybody, and thank you. Thank you, Jamie. I love you.
very welcome. Thank you for letting me be here and doing this, to do this.
Bye.
Bye, guys.